Hello, boys and girls. I am here, back with another book review for you. I don't know why I'm putting on that voice. All right, guys, Volume 8, Daredevil, finally done and read for you. I hope you guys got your copy. This is where it all begins with Frank Miller. Frank Miller's 4-year run on the book. I found out from 1979 to 1983. He jumped on as an artist only with issue 158, and continued being the artist up until from 158 to 161. Then I guess he took a break for 162, jumped back on with 163, all the way to the end of his run, 191. He jumped on as a co-writer along with Roger McKenzie. Roger McKenzie wrote from 155 to 166. Miller co-wrote with McKenzie from 165 to 166. Then David Michelinie wrote 167, with Frank only doing the art. And then from 168 all the way through 191 was the writer and artist of Daredevil, Frank Miller I'm talking about. So yeah, there's a lot of back and forth with artist, co-writer, artist-writer, all that. But wow, guys, and let me just say something. Never has there been such, maybe there has, I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, I love how I waited so long to read this book, and I just absolutely enjoyed it. I definitely with the X-Men books, but that's a given because I have practically every individual X-Men, Uncanny X-Men book that came out. So to read them in epic form is a no-brainer. But Daredevil, I never collected Daredevil, never really got into it. I didn't dislike or hate Daredevil at all, but you know, just Daredevil is one of those characters where, well, if he doesn't have superpowers like the X-Men or has problems that I can relate to like Spider-Man, I'm not gonna read it, you know. Same with Captain America, Daredevil, Captain America. Oh yeah, Captain America, Daredevil, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, etc., etc. God, thank goodness for the epics, guys, because I managed to read and catch up to 40 years of. I just love the epics. That goes without saying. Let me hold it this way. I think the camera's over here, right? Yeah. Okay. Usually the camera's on this side, but it's over on the side. Anyway, guys, let me put this down because my arm is hurting, but I am talking about To Dare the Devil, Volume 8, which covers 1978 to 1981, Daredevil 155 to 176, plus What If number 28 and Bizarre Adventures number 28. There's an interesting motif going on with 8. This is Volume 8. Like I said, What If and Bizarre Adventures number 28. Frank Miller started with Daredevil 158 and then took over as artist and writer with 168, which actually coincides with Elektra's first appearance, which I actually do own, by the way. I bought on eBay for, I think, like, no bullshit, guys, I think for $20, and this is back like in 2004 or 5, maybe even 2003. 20 years ago on eBay, I bought the first appearance of Elektra, Daredevil 168, very cheap, and I'm sure it's like $100, maybe $200. It's in actually pretty good condition, maybe like very good to fine condition. I'm not a grader of conditions, but it's a very beautiful, readable copy. Not perfect, but it came out like January of 81, according to the indicia date. I always go by the publication date, not when it came out. But yeah, so let's get down to it, guys. Roger McKenzie writes for 10, 11 issues and then departs. David Michelinie takes over for 1 issue, and then Frank Miller takes over. I will say the first 4 issues, 155 to 158, they do comprise a rather mystifying storyline that I believe go together. It's a 4-parter. And like I said, I keep saying, Frank Miller jumped on with 158, so he tagged on with part 4 of the storyline as the artist. It involves the Death Stalker and the Any-Men, who for whatever reason are called the Unholy Three. I remember them as 5. There was Ape Man, Birdman, Catman, Frogman, and Dragonfly, who worked for Count Nefaria when that whole issue, 95, 96 went down, the death of Thunderbird and all that stuff. I remember them there from that period. In this, and interestingly enough, they debuted in Daredevil number 10 way back in 1965, 10 years before they appeared in X-Men, and without Count Nefaria. Here it's just Ape-Man, Birdman, and Catman, ABC, working for Deathstalker. Deathstalker, formerly the Exterminator, way back in Daredevil number 41, which was volume 2 of Mike Murdock Must Die, the very last issue there. So the Exterminator eventually became Deathstalker. Deathstalker is that dude that's dressed up in a trench coat, and if he touches you, you die. A really morbid storyline that goes all over the place. And he ends up killing his own people, the Unholy Three, Any-Men. And then he's, of course, defeated by Daredevil. But I really enjoy Frank's artwork. And I will show you guys some of this stuff in a bit. But we move along pretty swiftly. There's several encounters. 162, I should mention, is devoid of any Roger McKenzie, Frank Miller input. It's actually Michael Fleischer and Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko does the pencils. I didn't like, again, just like in the Fantastic Four Annual 16 from the last book I read, volume 12, I didn't like Steve Ditko's artwork. It's like Steve Ditko is just, he lost his way. Just bad artwork. Even the writing was stupid. It was like a retelling of the origin. No. Excuse me. No. Matt as Daredevil. He loses his memory because he got he stopped this radiation meltdown from these Mason radiation, whatever. Lost his memory, hooks up with this mobster and becomes a boxer, which mirrors his father battling Jack's own demise and whatever as a boxer. But Matt loses his memory and fights. It was a not good story. I didn't like it. I'm talking about 162 of Daredevil. So you guys will be reading 155 through 161. Then you'll get to 162 and we'll be like, what the fuck happened here? See what happened? And they even say it, I should show it, but nah. In 162, they even said that the dreaded deadline of doom, which plagued Marvel in the late 70s when Archie Goodwin and Marv Wolfman were the editors. And oddly enough, Jim Shooter is the editor now, the editor-in-chief, and he's, wow, the deadline doom even affected him. I thought he got the ship back on course, but it even affected Shooter. So rather than put a reprint, they did a one-off story that had nothing to do with Daredevil at all. It's like if you read the Korvac quest or the Korvac saga in Avengers, what is it, 168 or 169? 169 of Avengers has nothing to do with 167, 8, or 170. And if you look at anything having to do with the Korvac saga, they will always skip 160. Is it 168 or 160? I think it's 169. I forget. One of those issues. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know, leave a comment. I know it's either 168 or 169. I'm talking about Avengers. But they always leave that one issue out because it has nothing to do with the Korvac saga. Nivek, I know it's probably going to be you. You're going to probably let me know. So anybody, please let me know. Because my mind's... I just got back from being in the city, so I'm just... But back to Daredevil. So yeah, 162 is rather forgettable. But then we start picking up with some stories here. What happens in 163 and 4? I forget. But I posted it, by the way, guys, in the post in 2 parts again. There was just so much happening in this volume. I just had to include. I didn't want to cheat you guys of any details. But I know 165, where Mackenzie and Miller co-write, Dr. Octopus steals this thing of adamantium because he wants to make his tentacles made out of adamantium. He talks a lot about Spider-Man, like Spider-Man, I got to get revenge on Spider-Man. But this is his first encounter with Daredevil, I believe. And then 166 has the return of Gladiator, who is suddenly reformed and childlike. I don't know. He's like very like dumb, retarded. I don't know, mentally deficient. But he loses his shit and he goes back to being the Gladiator. 167 has, I guess, the first appearance of Mauler, the Mauler suit, where Daredevil has to fight him at Edwin Cord, who, for those of you who remember in Iron Man, Tony dated Janice Cord, who I think it was her niece, was Edwin Cord's niece. And Edwin Cord is the brother of Janice's father, who died, and she died, of course. But for whatever reason, Edwin Cord is in the pages of Daredevil, and he has to deal with the Mauler suit. Then 168, we kick it into high gear, finally with Frank Miller as both the writer and the artist. And it's from here, from 168 all the way to the end to 176 is where things really kick into high gear. The first appearance of Elektra, that goes without saying. Then 169, Bullseye, that's what it was, Bullseye. Bullseye features prominently in these later issues, but he's in the 159, 60, 63, 63. He's suffering from delusions because what do you call it? He has a tumor. It's discovered he's dying and he has a tumor and he needs an operation. And Daredevil's like, shoot, I feel bad for him. I'm going to save his life. And he does. And he thinks, for some strange reason, Daredevil, Matt, thinks that Bullseye owes him because he saved his life. But of course, Bullseye's like, nah, I'm still going to kill you, pal. Then, like I said, Bullseye comes back. Bullseye in 169 goes on a rampage, killing everybody because he thinks everybody's Daredevil. Then 170, 171, and 172 is a three-part gang war storyline where the Kingpin comes back, the Kingpin of Crime, I checked on the CMRO that his last appearance was Amazing Spider-Man 197, so that's like 1979, which I think was in, what was it? It was volume 10 or 11 of Spider-Man. That was the last issue. And then, of course, 170 was the return of Kingpin. Kingpin apparently went to Japan with Vanessa. He gave up crime for her. And for whatever stupid reason, well, no, I know the reason. But, I'll just say, for whatever stupid reason, the crime lords on the East Coast want to kill the Kingpin. They want him to come back to New York and kill him because he has state's evidence and files on all the Goomba gangsters who are running the East Coast. And they're afraid that he's going to... he's preparing to release these files to District Attorney Blake Tower and indict all of them. And they seek to kill him with the help of Bullseye. But of course, that doesn't work. Bullseye, of course, eventually turns on the mob and sides with the Kingpin. And the Kingpin turns over state's evidence to Daredevil. He's like, here, Daredevil, do whatever you want. Also, Daredevil kicks the shit out of Bullseye and takes his body. And Kingpin's like, sure, take his body. I don't need him either, even though he's now under my payroll. Vanessa ends up getting killed, but not. She actually survives an explosion. They have a meeting at a construction site. The gangsters kidnap Vanessa and hold her hostage in exchange for the files that Kingpin has. But a bomb goes off by one of Kingpin's men, Lynch, and he thinks Vanessa has died. But Vanessa's underground in the sewers with no memory of who she is. And the Kingpin's like, fuck, she's gone. I might as well reassume my power. So he does. And so now, guys, the Kingpin is back. And now Kingpin is now a thorn in Daredevil's side. And, of course, Spider-Man and Punisher and everyone else. Meanwhile, in the background, like things that are happening here, Elektra's back, of course, but I'll get to that in a second. Heather Glenn, Matt is dating Heather. Foggy has married Debbie. Oh yeah, that was what was that? That was he finally got married. Foggy Nelson finally gets married to Deborah Harry. No, Deborah Harris. Debbie Harris. Not the chick from Blondie. And there's a funny thing where Foggy thinks he lost the ring, so Matt has to go back to the storefront office, the law office that they run a free services. But it turns out Foggy, the dumbass that he is, has the ring on his finger. So that was kind of funny. That was in 166, I believe. 166, the same issue with the Gladiator. There's also, Heather's being a pain in the ass. Foggy, what else? Okay, no, we don't need to worry about them. So the gang, the gang war storyline passes 170 to 172. Then we have this dude, Michael Reese, the lady killer in 173, who's beating up women and killing them. The lady killer. Turns out he's the reason why. What's her name? Becky Blake, who's Matt and Foggy's secretary. Why she's in a wheelchair. Then he goes after Betsy Beatty. Oh my God, Becky Blake, Betsy Beatty. Yeah, BBBB. It's like Lori Lemaris, Lois Lane, Lana Lang. That's 173. Then 174, Elektra comes back, but now she's a mercenary, a bounty hunter, an assassin. She's killing people. And Matt's like, shoot, I gotta now fight Elektra and bring her to justice. So now they're on opposite sides. But Matt, every so often, is about to get killed or get his ass kicked. And Elektra steps in to save him, even though she doesn't want to. There's a little back and forth there. But it's cool seeing Elektra front and center. 174, which is what this cover is. Gladiator and Elektra and Daredevil are caught up with the Hand. By the way, the Hand make their first appearance in 174. So the Hand are sent to kill Matt, and Elektra hears about it, so she goes and protects Matt. She flies back to New York to save him. Then they're sent to kill Melvin Potter, who's the Gladiator. And then finally, in the end, they're sent to kill Elektra. There's this guy, Kirigi, that's how the Japs pronounce it, Kirigi, whatever that means, who's like this immortal ninja who's sent to kill Elektra by some dude named Jonin. Well, I think Jonin, that means something in Japanese. I don't know what it is. Who cares? But 174, 5, and I think 6 are 3-part. I say I think because these last few issues seem to be the same threaded storyline, but they could easily be their own. I don't know. But yeah, it ends with Matt is looking for Stick, his old mentor, who is also blind. And Stick makes his first appearance in 176, the last issue of Daredevil in this volume. Everybody's looking for him. Heather's looking for him. This big black dude who tries to rape Heather, but she has a gun, so she saves herself. Elektra's looking for Stick. Matt's looking for Stick, but she's got this Kirigi guy, this immortal ninja on her back. I'm talking about Elektra. So she kills him. I mean, it's all over the place, and it's really cool. I'm gonna skip everything else, but take my advice, guys. Please read this, even if you're not a Daredevil fan. Understand why Frank Miller is a legend and why his run on Daredevil is considered legendary. It's $54.99. Yeah, $55 and some change, but it's worth it, guys. This is definitely worth $55. There's a Bullseye. This is from 169. Funny thing I noticed, and I can't believe they got this wrong. But hold on, I don't have my glasses. I can't see. 168. I had this issue. They misprinted or they misspelled Elektra's name. They added a C. I think they were probably thinking of Morning Becomes Elektra, the Eugene O'Neill play, which is with the C. Or Electro, the Spider-Man villain, also has a C, but they put a C and a K for Elektra. Yeah, a lot of cinematic panels. I mean, this is true 80s paneling, like shooter era, Reagan era 80s, where everything is small, concise, condensed, very street oriented, very gritty, dark, neo-noir, like noir, dark, like a detective story, very hard-boiled, which we of course know Frank Miller's so astute and just dynamic with The Dark Knight Returns, Sin City, all that stuff. And he did it right here first in Daredevil. I think he did it first in Daredevil, but a lot of shadows and silhouettes, a lot of innuendos to sex and violence, ninjas, the Hand, Heather's annoying, all these girls who work for, Betsy and Becky and Foggy, and oh my God. Yeah, but I don't know. I want you guys to read it yourselves. I'm not being fair to showing you all that stuff. Anyway, take my advice, guys. It's good stuff. This is finally, and just so you guys know, Daredevil was on the verge of getting canceled, believe it or not. It was actually on the bi-monthly schedule from up until 170, up to 170, 171, up until 1981. It was bi-monthly from when you start this book, guys, which starts in November of 78. It's bi-monthly. Probably like you're wondering who cares. I'm saying that Daredevil was on the verge of just being canceled, and they didn't know what to do. They probably figured, all right, let's let this guy Frank Miller do whatever. And lo and behold, it got back on schedule. I mean, X-Men was bi-monthly when it canceled and went into reprints back in the 70s. So Daredevil went through it too. And thanks to Frank Miller, they got back on track on the monthly schedule. And the rest is history until issue 380 when it got canceled in 1998. There's also What If 28. There's a lot in my mind, guys. I'm tired. What if number 28 is just what if Matt Murdock became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I don't care about what if stories. But his dad, Battling Jack, gets kidnapped by Hydra. So Matt has to save his father. And of course, Matt is blind. The accident with the isotopes or the radioactive stuff still happens. It's funny, they changed it from a spill to isotopes going in his face. That was they changed the origin a little bit there. What else? I don't know, guys. There's some good stuff. I think 164 has like that really awesome. This is 165 where he fights Dr. Octopus. 164, that's the one where he was a boxer. No, his father. That's the retail. Yeah, this one. I love this cover. 164, where he's holding his father. He's like, Father! This logo is going to be replaced by this one with issue 166. It becomes a thinner version of this. And that's it, guys. I don't know. Oh, yeah, and Bizarre Adventures number 28 is an Elektra story in black and white. It's really neat, actually. And she's chasing after a Nazi hunter that's trying to kill her employer, who is a Nazi. And he shoots the Nazi, kills the hunter, and he's like, I haven't killed a Jew in a long time. And it's just, but then of course she kills the Nazi. So I don't know what to show you guys. I don't know. Just buy the book, okay? Buy the fucking book. Volume 8 to Dare the Devil. All right, guys, like this goddamn video. I'm tired as hell. I'm going to go to sleep. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed the video or learned something. If you didn't, what can I tell you? Not my problem. Okay, next book, guys, is going to be volume 2 of ROM. It's actually no subtitles, it's just ROM, the original Marvel Years, volume 2, covers 1981 to 1982. ROM 21 to 33, annual one, and the Power Man and Iron Fist number 73, which was omitted in the Power Man and Iron Fist volume 2. If you guys have that, you'll see issue 72, 74, and so on. It's like, where the fuck is 73? It's because at the time when they published Volume 2 of Power Man Iron Fist, Marvel did not have the rights to ROM. But they've rectified it, and it's in this volume. Hopefully, I don't know. But before they lose the rights to ROM, which I'm sure they will, they will reprint Volume 2 of Power Man and Iron Fist, as well as finally release Volume 12 of Hulk, which has 296, which has ROM in issue 296, and also the Marvel 2-in-1 99, which hasn't been released, but we all know with the Doc Savage issue from Volume 2, they skipped issue 21. So now we have 20, and then 22, and so forth, up to 36, and it's like, we're missing an issue. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm sleepy, but I hope you guys learned something from it. Again, read it, guys. Volume 8 to Dare the Devil of Daredevil costs $54.99, and this one, which is $49.99, only $50, Rum Volume 2. That's the next book, guys. All right, I'm done. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.